Hey guys, it's Mario here, and in this video I wanted to give you guys a quick answer for a very common question that I'm getting, and that is, what should you eat after a workout to build muscle and burn fat? And I want to address the second part of this question first, which is the fat burning part. So guys still believe that you can buy some kind of magical food that's going to help you burn more fat just by itself. So by eating something that you're going to burn more fat, which is simply not the case. Although, eating food itself does have a thermogenic effect. About 10% of your calories will be spent to process that food on average. So about, if you eat 2,000 calories, about 200 will be simply spent on just burning that food and just processing all of that. Out of the macros, protein is the one with the highest thermogenic effect, and 1 calorie out of those 4 that come from a gram of protein will be used just to simply put that protein into action, into process in your body. That's really not something you should worry about, that's something just that happens naturally. And one thing that I want to make clear is that you've been marketed, people are trying to sell you, all sorts of bullshit, supplement, powders, pills, some fat burning crap out there that is supposed to help you burn more fat. None of that will work if you're not in a caloric deficit. If you're in a caloric deficit, maybe you can get some kind of hyper caffeine thing that's going to help you fidget more or whatever to help you burn more fat, but it's really not a substantial amount of something. It's just pretty much a waste of money, right? So don't waste your money. Invest on real food, right? Invest on whole unprocessed food, hit your macros, be in that caloric deficit, and you will burn fat. Actually, I made a lot of videos on this. There's a step-by-step how to get ripped guide, which I'm going to leave in the description below. Has a ton of links in that video as well, which you can check out. It's really, you just have to follow it step by step. How about the muscle building phase? How about the muscle building part of the question? Well, there's a kind of an ideal combination that you want to strive for after a workout. And specifically, it comes down to protein and carbs, right? Protein is important, obviously, because those are the building blocks for your body to replenish and rebuild that muscle mass, right? So you're rebuilding nonstop after workout. You break down tissue, rebuild tissue, right? And you need that protein, right? Those are your building blocks. And carbohydrates are there to replenish that glycogen that you did lose while you were training. And depending on when your training is positioned throughout the day, it will vary a little bit how you want to go about those carbs and those protein, right? So typically, for you guys that train in the evening, I train a lot of times in the evening. So my ideal combination is a ton of carbs, ton of protein, and little low to moderate fat, and then I'm gonna hit a lot of fiber with that as well. So that's my ideal combination. What a meal would look like, probably some kind of form of meat, a little bit of a leaner combination of meat, plus some whole unprocessed carbohydrate source. That would be, let's say, potato, rice, maybe even some good bread, pasta, whatever you have, whatever is your favorite food. That's something I don't know, but you wanna choose from something that you like to eat, right? And on top of that, you can obviously combine sauces and all these other things that fit inside of your macros, right? So that's a very important thing. And if you do train in the evening, you would want to have that meal, a bigger meal, right? A bigger meal after the workout, simply to give your body all that fuel. And as you go throughout the day, there's been some research that you might need more protein if you're eating, let's say, a meal in the evening closer to bedtime. Then that meal will that protein will hold you even through that fast overnight. It's not ideal, but it's a really good thing to do. And as well as meal frequency, you guys know that doesn't matter as much as simply having protein around the workout and having about 3 to 6 meals a day. Whatever is the most convenient for you to be consistent with your macros is the best option. So to kind of summarize there, you really want to aim for protein and carbs. Fat, you want to keep low, moderate, maybe even go high fat if you do have the calories and the macros. But as the question is fat burning, I'm assuming you're trying to lose weight. And for most people, when they're trying to lose weight, they're going to have that lower fat intake and higher carb intake because you're also training, and carbohydrates are much more beneficial when you're training than having that very high fat intake, right? So generally, what has been advised is that if you're training first thing in the morning, you want to make sure that you eat the day before, that you replenish your glycogen the day before. And that's a very important thing that guys don't know, is that if you're doing your training the next day, then if you're training in the evening the day before, then you want to replenish with a lot of carbohydrates so you can hit that morning workout the next day, because it takes a while for glycogen to replenish. And for normal circumstances where your workouts are done in the evening, non-stop, consecutive workouts in the evening, should be fine just to have those, have moderate amount of carbs after workout, because you do have a couple of extra meals before you hit the workout the next day. And that's pretty much it, right? There's really no special magical combination. Strive for some kind of leaner meat, maybe even cottage cheese is a good option as well. I mean, it's really coming down to that daily protein intake. And the way I distribute my protein is I like to have a big chunk after workout. So I'm gonna definitely have protein shake plus a serving of some kind of lean form of protein. And that's gonna give me somewhere between 60 to 80 to 100 grams of protein after workout. And that's gonna be spread about evenly. The other portion is going to spread out in the 2 or 3 different meals throughout the day. So that's really all it's about. You know, there's no special magical formula. It's really about hitting your macros consistently. And that's something that I see a lot of people are asking me this question, and then I ask them, hey, are you hitting your macros? They don't even know what macros are. And that's something that you're putting the horse in front of the cart, as like Eric Helms likes to say. He's a very good expert in the nutrition world. Like, you're micro-focusing on a very tiny portion of it while you're not taking care of the big things, right? The things that give you that 80-90% of ROI is hitting your calories and your macros. Once you figure that out, then obviously you want to try to kind of figure that out around the training. Then you can even go play around. Okay, do I need to have more protein after workout? I can just go with a moderate amount. And that is really gonna yield maybe 0.1 to 0.2% of difference, you know, in the bigger scheme of things, while consistently hitting your macros day in, day out, really focusing on your calories, being in a deficit if you want to lose weight. That is gonna give you the most results, and really focus on that more than trying to micromanage all these little tiny things that don't yield as many results while you're missing the big picture, which is, again, really being diligent with your tracking and knowing what your targets are for the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Really quick video for you guys just to clear up this thing that there's really no magical combination. You know, strive to get protein and carbs after workout just to replenish those systems and get enough building blocks to build muscle, because that adaptation process takes a couple of days even. You know, it's not something that just happens like this. So give your body the resources it needs to rebuild, and hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions on this in the comments below, and I'll answer them. As always, I go over every single question you guys post. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click subscribe below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.